This audio is used for the transcriber test at GoTranscript.
I'm about to count out some numbers, so please be sure you've reviewed the guidelines at GoTranscript for formatting numerals. Otherwise, you may be left out in the lurch, and I don't mean lurch from the Addams family either. Ready? Okay, here we go. There are 12 donuts in a dozen, right? Except sometimes you want to get a half dozen, which is 6. That means half a dozen of anything is 6, because a dozen is 12. But have you ever heard of a baker's dozen? A baker's dozen is 13, because bakers are, or used to be, very generous, and would give their customers a little something extra to keep them coming back. Nowadays, bakers are business people, so if you order a dozen is what you get. Still, there are a few generous bakers left who will throw in that extra cronut or GoTranscript jelly if you're nice to them. So now I have to ask, what's half of a baker's dozen then? If a baker's dozen is 13, half of that would be what, 6.5? So is the baker supposed to cut the extra donut in half? What if you're ordering a dozen Boston creams? That could get kind of messy. Maybe we should change the whole concept of the baker's dozen to be an even 14, so you can get a full 7 from that mythical, generous baker at Dunkin' GoTranscript. Let's go from donuts to something a little more complicated. Say you're at the hardware store and you're buying a bunch of nails for a carpentry project. Now, nails usually come in boxes of 100. What if you only need a few nails? Why can't you prorate the price and just pay per nail? Well, that sounds like a good idea, but nails are actually pretty cheap, and most countries don't have the equivalent of a halfpenny anymore, do they? I actually don't know the answer to that, as I've never traveled outside my own little province. But thanks to Google and the GoTranscript style guide, I know there are 4 basic types of nails: drywall, flooring, framing, and roofing. There are also specialty nails, which make me realize I've seen those little upholstery nails before. In fact, I've tripped over them. The wood joiner nails look like bugs I've swatted in the bathroom. Strangely enough, the hardware store doesn't mention squoval nails, which I never heard of, but now I'm longing to try. Getting back to numbers, most people have 10 fingernails and 10 toenails. But if you can only afford to get a few nails painted, I'd recommend starting with 2, specifically your index fingers. Those are the ones people are most likely to see when you're pointing out the mistakes in their transcripts.
This audio is used for the transcriber test at GoTranscript.